Hello, it's me again. So I just finished a coaching session, and as always, thoughts come to me that I feel like is worthy of us sharing with one another. So I was just in a coaching session talking to my client about guilt. And we were talking about the kind of guilt we have when we think about how our choices have affected the person or people in our lives. And sometimes we're between a rock and a hard place, having to make a decision that's best for us, but we know will not feel amazing to the people around us. And then sometimes we make a decision without really noticing that some of the residual effects of the decision we're making will maybe not feel so great to the people around us, or have unintended consequences to the people around us. But when we do become aware of that guilt, or aware of what we did, we start to feel guilty. We feel badly because we don't ever want to be a negative influence or a harmful influence on the person or people that we know and love or care about. Now, moving forward from that, right? You've done the things you wanted to do, needed to do, or thought were right for you to do at the time. The people around you felt hurt, harmed, disregarded, ignored, whatever their feelings were. You've moved past that point, and now you are feeling badly as you reflect on the impact you had, right? Let's call it the impact that you had on others. Well, there's a few things that I want you to consider. One is we only learn ourselves in relationship to other people. If I were to stay at home and never leave my house, there wouldn't be much growth or learning that I'd be able to do for myself. I have to connect with my neighbor, my parents, my friends, my siblings, my coworkers, my doctor, my bus driver. I mean, the person who makes my coffee. I have to connect with other people so I can have experiences that help me feel what I like and what I don't like, either about the other people, about the experience, or about myself. And so when we do that, we are learning who we are. And so we go through these evolutions. We become a person, hopefully, that we want to be, more of who we want to be. And then we realize, oops, I might have harmed somebody or hurt somebody's feelings along the way. And then we sit in the guilt of that. And more often than not, the person we hurt, harmed, or ruffled is not happy about it. And they make it known usually in one way or another. They pull back from us, they don't talk to us, they throw us shade, they tell us outright, you did this to me. Um, and we feel like the release of the guilt that we feel is only available to us when those people who were harmed by our choices and actions forgive us. We feel like we can't feel guilt free until they forgive us, tell us it's okay. I understand. It was a rough start, a rough time, a rough patch. I know you didn't intend it. Whatever it is they say that indicates to us that they are forgiving us for what it is we did, the choices we made. This is not true. You're freeing yourself of guilty feelings is not synonymous or aligned with the other person or people deciding to forgive you. Because, and you've seen this, right? And I want you to make note of this. You have seen moments in your life where someone says, I forgive you. I totally forgive you. It's not a problem. I'm okay. I'm fine. And the person they're talking to is still holding on to guilt about the choices they made or the experience that happened that they feel they contributed to. And then you've seen the reverse. You've seen people free themselves of guilt or never feel guilt at all about the choices they've made. And the people who were impacted by their choices are still holding tight to being upset about it, to wanting to make sure that you did something wrong to me. And so those two examples make it very clear that the guilty do not have to align with the forgiving in order for the guilt to actually disappear. Because if you're forgiven, sometimes you won't release the guilt. And if you release the guilt, doesn't mean that you're forgiven. So I want you to recognize that the guilt that you have and the guilt that you feel is yours and yours alone. And the choices you made were likely made because you were trying to move yourself to a place of freedom from whatever situation, circumstance, or box you felt trapped in. And you can't move towards freedom in your own life without ruffling the feathers of those around you who may not be choosing their freedom at that time, right? You can't move through life without brushing up against other people. You can't. And so sometimes we make decisions and sometimes we need to make amends because we feel we should, and that feels better for us. So do that. But if you make choices for yourself that are bettering who you are, the people that you brush up against on your way down that path are going to have their own feelings about it. And if you feel that it would benefit you and them to apologize or make amends, please do. And if they choose not to forgive you for it, forgive yourself. Because your freedom is not worth the comfort of others. Abandon ordinary.